gardener. I'm outside in my garden this morning training my Kajari melon to grow up and over my trellis, and I wanted to show everybody how easy it is. Now this side I have not done yet, and this side I trimmed up. You can see everything on the ground. I wanted to create airflow on the bottom, and I got the pollinators flying all around me, but I wanted to go ahead, and you can see they're growing in all over now. So this is the time, but I wanted to show you how I train them to go up and over like I do all my other stuff. Okay, so I'm going to tackle this side first, then the back side, and trim up the bottom. I want the bottom to have airflow so I don't get any kind of disease. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off all these big leaves and throw them on the ground, and I'm going to put these outside the garden so the deer could come in tonight and eat them all. So the first thing I want to do is get a lot of these big leaves out of my way so I could train them. If you take these and you try to weave it with the big leaves, they just crush in there and there's no airflow. So I start from the top down. Remember, this is my arch walkway over here, so I don't want them growing in and constricting my walkway. I don't care if they grow out that way, but not in this way. So all you do is you remove the big leaves like this. And when you're doing it, make sure you don't cut off anything that's got a Kajari melon or a blossom on it, or you lost it. Just some of the leaves. And you're not doing all the leaves, but you're doing the big leaves, so when you go to weave it, they don't squish and confine or restrict the airflow. Okay, so you got the point, so let me go ahead and trim this up and I'll get back to you. Okay, so I went ahead and removed a lot of the big leaves on this side. So before I start weaving them in, I gotta tackle the other side over here, because I don't want to weave those in and have all these big leaves on this side. So basically I'm going to do the same thing. And that's remove a lot of the big leaves on this. Now some people say, oh, the leaves give it energy. Well, yeah, that's why I don't cut all of it off, but the leaves also create lack of airflow, which could give you the fungus and the disease and stuff like that. So it's better to have airflow. So let me go ahead and tackle this side, and then I'll show you how I weave it. Okay, so now I have that side and this side thinned out of the big leaves, and you can see there's still a lot of leaves left. So what I want to do this time, starting from the top, I'm going to go ahead and look for the vines like this. And the tendrils that are clinging to something else, I'm going to cut them. See, these are called tendrils, and they wrap around other vines and leaves and trellises. So you want to make sure that this is free, and if you have a vine like this one right here is clinging to that and that, just cut your tendrils, because if you got to pull one up, it might snap at the tendril and then you're forcing two. So try to cut the tendrils. You'll grow new ones, they'll wrap around. Okay, so here's a nice one right here. See the tendrils? They'll catch on. So I'm just going to take this, and I can see how high it is. So I'm going to look for an opening, and I'm going to push it through real gentle. Make sure it doesn't snap and it's not too tight. Okay, now it's out that side. I'm going to reach up and I'm going to pull it back through. I didn't even need tape on that one. So let me do another one right over here. Right here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it through. Okay, now reaching through the trellis, I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to pull it out here. So what I'm doing is I'm weaving it, that way it holds itself up. Okay, here's another one right here. I'm just going to take this and push it through. Now I put my arm through with it, and I'm going to take it and pull it through here. Okay, so here's another nice one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to push it through. And I'm being real careful. I don't want to snap it, and I don't want to break any flowers off of it, any buds, blossoms. Okay, here's a lower one. I'm just going to bring it through here. And come back around over here. That's weaved in real nice. And I'm going to do the same. I don't know if you can see me down here, but I need to get these. So I'm just going to take this and run it through that way. And do the same with this one. Run it back through that way. Now here's one right here. See, the Kajari Melons are on there. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to look for a lower opening. Right over here, looks good. Okay, this one was clinging, but there was too much of a gap. So I removed the tendrils. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it through right over here. And brought it back up the top. Now it's flatter against there and not in my walkway. Sometimes you can't do that. Same thing with this one. Cut some of these tendrils off. Okay. Now I'm going to take this one and pull it up tighter. And wrap it back and out. And now this one over here, okay, so this one over here, I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it through right here. and pull it through here. Just like that. That looks good. And I'll let it hang because when it grows, I'll get more. And more than likely, it will go up on its own. Let me cut a couple tendrils on this one here. Okay, now it's loose. Now I'm going to take this one and push it through right here. And now I'm going to come back up a little higher and pull it through so that's weaved. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to weave it in and back out. Now here's one down here and here. So I'll do this one first. Now I'll do this one. Okay, now I got some on the other side. All that's looking good. Now some of these right here, you could just cut them off. You don't need them. Okay, you don't need 100% of your vine, especially down low. Whatever's low, like this one right here, I just cut that off. A couple buds on there, but I don't need it on the ground. I got plenty coming up already. Here's one with a Kajari melon on it. So let me take this and push this through. Boy, you can smell it too. Okay, here you go. This is all looking really good over here. Okay, that's looking good. They're all up. I'm happy with that. I got to do a little bit more over there, but I'm happy with that. Just do so much each time. Now let's go over here. Okay, so same thing over here. Some of them I push through, and this one's growing on this side, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to send it through that way. So you're weaving it, and when the Kajari melons get big enough, it's going to pull down, it's going to have weight, and they're not going to unravel. So if you just used the ribbon and tied it up on the outside, that's going, the weight of it's going to pull it out. So remove the tendrils. See the tendrils here? Remove the tendrils. And now you got the vine loose. And now I'm going to look for a spot right up over here and push it through. Same thing with this one right here. I'm going to push it through right here. Here's another tendril. Okay, got all the tendrils out. I got Kajari melons growing on this one, so I want to push it through right over here. I'll push this one through too, right there. Okay, I'll go back on that side and send them through. Okay, I don't need that one. I don't need that. Okay. Now I'm going to send this one through right there. Now here's a nice one right here. Now I'm going to take this up. Or what I want to do first, let me trim some of these leaves off. Like I said, I don't want to fold the leaves back in there and restrict. So I don't want to bring this up and over all this clump of leaves, so I'm going to remove some of those leaves. Okay. That way there's not a clump of leaves right in there. So, all right, now I'll just take this and I'll bring it up and send it through right there. Now do the same with this. I want to cut a few of the leaves off right here. Okay, so Kajari melons are known for getting a lot of pickle worms in them. So, as soon as they get a little bigger, I'm going to go around, I'm going to start slipping bags over each one so it could grow inside of the net bagging to keep the flies from laying eggs that will hatch into pickle worms and go in each one. And that's another reason to thin out your leaves. Okay, got a really nice long one over here. And I want to push it through right here. Okay, that looks good. Okay, here's another long one right here. I'm going to push it through. And remove a couple leaves. Okay, this side is done. They're going back that way. Now it's flatter. I can see bunches of Kajari melons all over the place in here. So I done my job on this side. Now let's go back to the other side. And you can see all my trimmings on the ground. Okay, so I'm back on this side. Now I sent some through. See it hanging? So now I'm just going to put it back through somewhere else if it's long enough. Like over here. If it's not long enough, just let it hang. It'll be long enough soon enough. Ladybug on that one. Okay, so there you go on both sides. I created airflow, especially on the bottom. If you can see it down there and there, I want airflow. I don't want stagnant humidity. And then I thinned out the center and I weaved it going up the best I could. I did the same thing on the back side of it. And I did the same thing on this back side of it. That's it. I'm just going to leave it. Mother Nature's going to have them grow some more. I'm going to keep my eye on the Kajari melons. As soon as they get a little bigger, I'm going to go ahead and bag them with the mesh bags. And you can see there's pollinators all throughout this flying around right now. And they didn't even sting me once. They're busy doing their thing, so they're getting pollinated. And you can tell by the amount. There's probably 100 Kajari melons coming in, a quarter size right now. They're all basically like this right now. So you can see them all coming in. They're just like all over the place. They're in there. Down there on this back side, you can really see them. They're just a lot. See them all up on the top, and some of them are pea size and a little bigger, but there's going to be a bunch here, and the pickle worms will get them before you can pick them if you don't put a mesh bag around, or if you don't spray twice a week, because when the fly lays the egg, it hatches in a few days or within a week, and right away they start going in. So if you don't keep up on that, bag them. I'd rather bag them to stop the problem, because the fly won't be able to lay the egg on it. So anyway, hey, this is Sam, the Frugal Hugel Gardener, and today I'm in the garden and I'm trimming things up. I'll give you a little tour. These here are cucumbers. I already picked some and ate them, but there's a good amount on there. These are my Kajaris. You can see my tomato plants are doing really well. Lots and lots of tomatoes on them all over the place. I'm happy. They're all looking really healthy. I got to get in here and start thinning these out and getting them to grow up the vines. They're all looking really good right now. On both sides, those are looking good. But today's project is, I'm going to train all these up. My tomatoes I'll get to. Like this one I'll probably tie up today. You see the weight of it pulling it down. So only the ones that need to be tied today I'll get to, because today's project is doing the vine plants to get them to grow up and over. Like these here, I'm going to bag these today like I did those before a pickle worm gets in there. And hopefully there's none in there right now. And I'm going to train this to go up. And this one's up nice and over. And it's got a lot of beans on it. I've been picking and eating them. They're all looking pretty good right now. Now I'm a little behind on doing all this because the past couple days I've been dealing with a deer problem and putting up cables all the way around to keep the deer from coming in. I got some neat nighttime videos showing you the deer in the watermelon area, not the garden. Garden's 100% deer proof, but I made the vineyard because they got at my grapes, and the watermelon area I made it 100% deer proof. Good video, check it out. Plus I did a whole video on deer coming up to the garden trying to get in, couldn't get in, so they're just walking around eating what they could on the outside. I love the video. So anyway, hey, this is Sam, the Frugal Hugel Gardener. This is how I go ahead and train all of my vine plants to go up and over the trellises. Now out here, it's a little bit of a mess, but I got these vines coming in all over the place out here. I got a lot of fruit on them. I had this guy here in a mesh bag, but they're growing too big for the mesh bag. So, see, this one's in a mesh bag right here. You see it? It's going to grow. There's a lot bigger. So I'm going to put some more of those in a mesh bag. So over here, I got different size mesh bags. Small, large, and then I got the material. So those big ones I'm going to wrap with the material, and then I'm going to tie it with the string and make my own bag. Okay, got a bunch of butternut coming in, and I got a bunch of watermelons coming in, and going all the way down and around. I got a bunch of other stuff coming in. So it's probably time for me to do a garden tour, but that's not going to be today. Today I got to trim everything up and get them trained, because I let that go for a couple days. So maybe in another day or two I'll do a garden tour and you can see what's all going on over here. So anyways, hey, with that said, this is Sam, the Frugal Hugel Gardener. I hope you enjoyed the video. Show me some love, give me a like, subscribe, come on over to my Facebook page or my Facebook group. We'll love to have you. Talk to you soon.